Today we are celebrating the Saturday in the fifth week of Easter. It's also the feast of Saint Isidore the Farmer. So today I would especially recommend to your prayers those who labor in our fields to provide us in the United States with the food that we eat from our tables, many of these people being immigrants and often exposed to many dangers. Our gospel today is from the Gospel according to John, the continuation of chapter 15. Jesus said to his disciples, "If the world hates you, realize that it hated me first. If you belonged to the world would love you as its own. But because you do not belong to this world, and I have chosen you out of the world hates you. Remember the word I spoke to you. No slave is greater than his master. If they persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they kept my word, they will also keep yours. And they will do all these things to you on account of my name, because they do not know the one who sent me." My friends, the gospel, the good news of our Lord Jesus Christ. Today's gospel is a continuation of chapter 15. Yesterday we heard the words immediately preceding our reading today, which talked about the love that Jesus has for us, the love that reached the degree that he would lay down his life for us. And he asks us to also love in the same way that he loves. Today we hear the word hate. It's a word that contrasts very starkly with what we heard yesterday. We hear the word world in the first sentence used 5 times as the source of that hatred towards us. We have to be careful when we hear this word world, because it has 2 meanings. There's the world that God created, the world with all of its beauty, the world that God cared for so much that he sent his only Son, that the world may know his love. And yet here we hear of a world that hates him, that hates God, and hates us. The world that he speaks of is the world that belongs to the prince of this world, a world that lives by the values of greed, the values of selfishness, the values of power, the values of prestige and honor. This is the world that Jesus is talking about here. And he tells us very, very starkly that we do not belong to this world, that Jesus has taken us out of this world to live by values of love. We have to be careful not to condemn the world in terms of the people who live in it. For God, as I said earlier, gave his only Son in order that this world will be saved. We too are called to remain in this world but not be of it, and instead to give our lives in service to the people around us. We know that our economic system very often has its favorites, those who have and those who have not. And oftentimes those who have not, the farmers, those who are immigrants and migrants, those who labor in very, very difficult jobs, prisoners, women. There are many, many victims of greed, many victims of an economic system that puts profits above people. Today the Lord calls us to live in the world and to love it, even though it may hate the values for which we stand. And he reminds us that he would remain together with us, even in the face of persecution.